There's a polite humbleness to him, but don't let it ever fool you, because he's extremely competitive and he'll win. He'll find a way to beat you. The way he goes about it, it's more methodical and more plotting. You know, he's always thinking in that head. Be careful.
But he was always active. He's always doing something, and he was kind of never the dominating leader, but he was always the behind the scenes leader. Everybody looked to him.
One thing I will say about Butch, though, he was a neat. What do you want to call it? If I came home from work, I could open the door and know Butch was home, because you wouldn't find anything out of place.
He painted for me one summer when he was, I think he had a lot to do with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was like their towel boy or something. I'm not sure what it was. I probably got the story wrong. But he would paint in the summer for a couple of weeks, and he'd run down there or whatever and come back. So.
How old were you went to Tampa? 7?
Yeah, 1976, the first year.
1968 he was born. He had an aunt down there, his father's sister, in Tampa. And that's when he got hooked up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And an exciting thing I remember is the team was on the bus, and you had a little notebook, and he handed it through the window.
I wrote, I came all the way, they weren't signing autographs, it was a preseason game. So I wrote, I came all the way from Michigan, and I held it up. And his name was Johnny Lamar, and he opened up the door, took the notebook, passed it around. I ended up getting everyone on the team's autograph and passed it back. And that was just the start of it.
He's always been a Saugatuck boy. He knows the rules when he comes here, and I mean he worked in the gables in the kitchens, and worked at the beach, and did all the things that kids do, you know. So Dad always made him work. Mom and Dad always made him work. And
we always were working or doing something, it seems like, but when you weren't doing that, you're out on the beach, you're just trying to impress women.
Of course, a lot of kids in this area study hard, work hard, but Butch rose to the top, you know, and that's the saying, isn't it? You rise to the top.
Yeah.
You seen that poster? Yeah. And he worked, you know, he always claimed he got his work ethic at Coral Gables. These doors have been here for probably 40 years. These doors back into the kitchen.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I saw one on that.
Let's keep the noise down there. Got a family coming here. This is actually the window. You got to get a picture of this window right here. This used to be the pass-out window where Butch would stand right here and cook with the eggs and the pancakes and everything right out there. It's been filled in. Now we do all our cooking in here. Come on. Great place, huh?
I first started working there, and I was, you know, entry level, I was a dishwasher, you know, so you saw where, and then the following year they started preparing me to cook, and then the third year I was the manager. So I did the scheduling, I did all that, ran the window, cooked, supervised, and then I started working also bartending and bouncing. So I would literally go in at 6 o'clock in the morning, work till 4 or 5, come home, shower, and was back at work from 7 to 2, you know, and that was every weekend of doing that. But that's all I knew was work. And at a very early age, she said, we're not paying for your college, you have to pay for half. So I had no, the decision to work was not mine, to say the least, at first.
And that is true. And I did that to the fact where he gave me all, I don't think you ever cashed a check. At a bank account when he graduated from high school, he had $11,000 in the bank. So he was able at that time.
I would just we got paid every 2 weeks, and I'd just come home and just give her the paycheck.
He was never, and so he taught, it was taught in life, you save. And that's how you get there.
Butch never got into trouble, not like me, so he stayed Stayed out of trouble as far as I know, you know. Yeah, he was always a good kid.
You know, I don't know if anyone told you, but my passion was, you know, to be a police officer initially. And so I had the uniform and the police department set up there, and my first probably exposure to some funny things was there was a tornado warning, and I was out in the police car playing, and
18 months old.
And I accidentally turned the sirens on, so everyone thought a tornado was coming. So.
And he was.
One of the many stories.
Yeah. It's like you're living in heaven every day. It was wonderful. The kids were in everything, and we went to everything. And it's wonderful. It's like people come here for vacation, but we're here every day.
You know, there's so many characteristics between the people of Knoxville and the people of Saugatuck. Everyone's friendly, everyone's outgoing. They're there to help everyone. They're very prideful of what they have. So there is. You know, like I said, the transition's been seamless. You know, I feel like we're embedded in the community there already. My wife feels the same way, our kids. So we're very comfortable. You know, I feel like we've been there for a number of years, and I think it's just because of where I grew up. There are so many similarities.
We've lived in this house 42 years. So, and it was lucky the kids could walk to school, walk to work, and Butch held 2 jobs. But raising a family here is wonderful. Like I say, they could walk to school, church is right there, grocery, it's everything.
Not much has changed.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's, you come back and you're almost in a time warp, you know, when you come back. You know, sometimes the faces change a little bit, but, you know, what do I want to say, the environment, you know, it's all still the same.
You know what, Tennessee fans, you are going to be so happy. This guy he's the real deal, and I'm so happy for you guys, really, because I'm a State fan, so the Spartans, I'll always root for them, but for the Tennessee people, this guy is the real deal. It's not a fake, it's cool. Now, Butch, it seems like every 2 to 3 years, Butch has been replacing this helmet in this bar, and it's getting kind of old, so if you Tennessee fans could keep him there, I know he's going to win, and he's going to win big, but I get tired of changing these helmets out, so please keep the Tennessee one here for a while.